Pleasure being back. Fifth video. And, my goal with all this is just to be able to educate new
Hmm.
realtors coming on because it's everything I expected and so much more. So
Mm.
there's so much more that goes into it than
Hmm.
what people think. And I'm so glad to have the opportunity to help people learn.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I would like to start with just kind of asking you, what was one of your biggest wins last month?
Last month, I'd say my biggest win was just working with more clients than I have ever worked with at once before. And
Mm.
in terms of that being my biggest win, I can also take that as my biggest challenge as well.
Yeah.
And, working with people from beginning to end, working through their emotions, doing the property searches, the showings, the pre-qualification, not only doing that with one person, but turning around and doing that with 6 or 7 people at once.
Mhm.
It's it was a hard process, but it was a process that I grew through. So it was definitely a win for me.
Awesome, awesome. So you're saying that's probably your biggest challenge too with that?
It was definitely, and challenge can be looked at negatively, but I think in this situation, it's a challenge that has helped me
Hmm.
grow more.
Hmm.
And, although it was a challenge, being able to conquer that so early on, I'm
Hmm.
just trying to think of how many years ahead it's going to be so viable for me to take those experiences and put
Right,
them toward the future.
right, great. John Maxwell in the book we've been studying, the 17 Irrefutable Laws of Teamwork,
Hmm.
he really made it clear that growth equals change.
Yes,
And so you're embracing the challenge and
absolutely.
you're growing in the challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's
And
wonderful.
if you don't take it, if you don't embrace it and you kind of, choke on it, it'll take you down. It could easily take you down.
Right.
So I could understand why a lot of agents don't last in the industry. And not to say that, I'm lasting and other people don't, but it's a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot that goes into it. And if you don't embrace that, it could negatively impact you for sure.
Yep. And the thing is you've had your license for a little over 5 months, and you chose to join a team
Hmm.
versus just be kind of what the average real estate agent does. And the average real estate agent will sell 4 to 6 deals a year. So
Absolutely
they
right.
probably have a different challenge. Their challenge is probably more they're going out of
Yeah.
business because they have no business.
Right. Or
Um,
just taking all their time, once they get that one contract, just solely focusing on the one contract that they get, which is fantastic. I mean, to get one contract is better than none, but if you're able to divvy up some of the, back end things that go into that, you can put yourself more on the forefront to get more clients
mm,
and use that experience that way. So
yeah.
it's
But
unbelievably
again,
helpful.
most of those agents going out of business, it's really not anywhere close to what you're experiencing.
Oh,
They're
absolutely.
experiencing the opposite, famine. They don't know where to get business. They don't have
Right.
a clue how to pre-qual. They don't have the skills that you're developing currently
Hmm.
that you are developing as you're kind of hitting the windshield head on.
Right.
So I don't think when I say that number, 76% of people are going out of business the first year. It's not because of overwhelm. It's because of underwhelm.
True. Very true.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I mean, even just for people who say may have more deals going on, if they
Mm.
don't have that team handling things on the back end,
Then it
I,
could feel
I
that way.
right,
Yeah,
it definitely could feel that way.
yeah.
I
And
feel
eventually they're going to have to learn to do that. If they have that ability to get out and go after it,
right.
hopefully they learn how to do that. But, for me, that was the whole reason why we started a team. It was like I
Absolutely.
still want to have a life
Hmm.
and work,
Right.
because I love what I do. I enjoy it. I enjoy serving people. I enjoy helping people get the results they want. I mean, who
Right.
doesn't
Right.
enjoy that?
And you sort of took the turn, like the question of how can we do more deals while still
How
being
can
able
we?
to live life, while still being able to give our clients that quality,
Right, right, right.
service.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut on the quality.
Absolutely.
And so one thing I learned was that you can't, nobody's me. I
Hmm.
can't necessarily expect people to care about the clients as much as I did.
So true.
So that's what took me a long time to let go of
Right.
and start building a team. But then I realized, okay, I have 2 children, amazing wife, and if I don't let up here a little bit, I'm going to miss out on some of that.
Right. Your
So
work could be up
so
here, but then work and personal life,
my why
struggles.
got bigger over
Absolutely.
here. And I knew that I had done enough to, secure, I had an understanding of what I was doing. So I felt pretty okay over here. I felt good over here too, but I just didn't want to just be great at one and average
And
at the
lack of
other.
the other, sure.
So I had to learn how to replace myself in certain areas. And it started with, just somebody answering the phones because we were dropping calls.
Right.
And Sierra, what I learned in that whole process is that what my greatest fear was is that the people we put in those seats wouldn't care about the client like Lindsay and I did,
Right.
that we would drop the ball. But you know what I come to find out?
What's that?
There's people that do a lot of work way better than me.
Wow.
And generally, the right people, they're going to care. So if you take the time to recruit good people, they're going to be treated better.
Oh yeah.
I would think that right now, you're probably going to work with somebody who's buying a home better than I would because I've lost the focus on that when I was doing it, all the time.
Sure. Absolutely.
I loved it and I hated to let it go. But I realized again, my why over here was big enough to let go of that. And again, you do a better job than I probably ever would have done.
Well, and not only that, but Elijah took himself, in serving, 30 clients a year, and now he's branched out to where, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's Duke, me,
Mm-hmm.
Leanne,
Mm-hmm.
Cindy. I mean, now
Mm-hmm.
it's exponential.
Thank you.
So it's
Thank
been
you.
able to go exponential, and that's amazing to see, not only from like a personal aspect, but from a business aspect.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
So
and it took some real faith to let go,
it
and
does.
not today, it's not so much, because I believe in the training, I believe in the program.
Mhm.
I know that if you get the right people, they're going to care about the clients and they're going to build their
Absolutely.
business. And now we get to kind of partner with the whole process. So, um,
Absolutely.
all right, so good. Well, thank you. So, since joining our team, Castelli at Elevate Real Estate, what would you say are some of the biggest lessons you've learned in the last 5 months or so?
I probably touch on this every video, and I know we've already touched on it today, but there's really a few things. One being in personal and real estate, really, growth is uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and really lean into that uncomfortableness because it's going to flourish you so much more on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but real estate is not all rainbows and butterflies. There's a
No.
lot that goes into it. It can be an emotional roller coaster, not only for the client, but in turn, it can, pose onto yourself.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. Yeah. You can
just,
internalize it, right?
yeah,
You can take it home with you if you're not
oh, yeah,
careful. Mm-hmm.
absolutely can. And so just knowing and realizing that things are going to go wrong
Mm-hmm.
in real estate and in life.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a long time to realize that when things would go wrong, it would just feel like it was stacking up rather than me internalizing it and being able to let it go.
Right.
So, in personal and in life,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in personal and in real estate,
Mm-hmm.
things are going to go wrong, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So be prepared
Be
for
expected.
expect the worst,
Yep.
prepare for the best. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
That's
it's
good.
huge. So if I could tell that to anybody who's in their early 20s, going into their 20s, whether you're getting into real estate or not, things are going to go wrong.
Yeah.
So
Well,
be prepared.
great advice, Sarah, and very true.
Hmm.
And the cool thing is that's a lesson you've learned since you've been here. You're sharing with us. And I would say there's plenty of people in their 30s and 40s, 50s and 60s that really don't that have a struggle with what you just said.
Absolutely.
So we can choose to carry those burdens home with us,
Hmm.
or we can, my Coach Joe, he's been a coach with me now probably 12, 13 years.
It's
And he
awesome.
taught me this. He said, Elijah, show up, do your job, pay attention, tell the truth,
Yep.
and don't be attached to the outcome. He
Wow.
also told me, he said, do you know why so many agents get attached to the outcome?
Why is that?
And it's unfortunate, but they get attached to the paycheck.
Mm.
So they need that
It's easy to
paycheck
do.
so bad. And
Hmm.
again, that's at 76%
Right.
that are not overwhelmed,
Completely
they're
depending on
underwhelmed.
it.
And if that one check don't go through, they're scared to death.
Yeah.
So
Makes it go up in flames.
yes. So, but for you, it's a little different, and for me, it was different. It did.
Hmm.
The paycheck was not the most important thing. It was seeing the client get what they wanted, and
Right.
when that didn't happen, I began to feel bad for them, and
Right.
and I would carry that home with me. So
Yeah, what did I do wrong? What could I have done different?
yeah.
Just
Mm-hmm.
that
Yep.
role could be vicious.
And so
So,
when you're able to do that though, with an awareness of, okay, could I've done anything better?
right.
What could I've done to improve? What
Hmm.
lessons could I've learned in that process? So the next time I can help somebody,
Yep.
as long as you take that approach, you get better and better. And I think that's what Coach Joe was telling me. Show up, means you don't dodge, don't stay home, get up, do your
Right.
job,
Yes.
show up, pay attention, be aware, go through that thought process.
Mhm.
So that's healthy. So show up, pay attention, tell the truth, and don't be attached to the outcome. So
I
when
love
we
that.
do those things, when we show up, we do our job, we pay attention,
Hmm.
we tell the truth. We do not have to be attached to the outcome. But if we're
I love
shamming in
that.
any of those areas,
Right.
then we do need to figure out what we're doing wrong. So,
Absolutely. And if it honestly, I mean, I've reiterated this as well. If it wasn't for the team, even in my personal life, I don't think I could have rationalized or conceptualized that
hmm
at this point.
yeah, and
So,
you're 23,
mhm,
and you're already catching that.
yeah,
I mean, that's a big deal, really.
it's huge.
Yeah, and it was a game changer for me too.
Yeah.
Ciera,
Storms make us stronger.
yeah, Ciera, thank you for being here with us today for your fifth video. Tell us
Yeah.
again how many closed.
I've got 7 closed to this
Okay,
point.
congratulations, 5 months,
Thank you.
7 closed. How many pending?
Yes. I've got 4 pending at the moment, and hopefully I will have 5 by the end of the day.
You're working really hard, Sierra. You're going at it with everything you got in you. You are committed to seeing your business grow, and it's an honor to partner with you. We look forward to continuing to build a great relationship. Guys, we'll be back next month for our sixth video with Sierra, and we'll be able to kind of talk a little bit more, learn a little bit more about her journey. Um, what Sierra's doing, what I have done, anybody can do, but it takes a commitment. It takes a commitment to play ball at the level that Sierra's playing ball. And that's why we wanted to continue to introduce you to Sierra so that you can get to know what that journey looks like. I'm sure if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Reach out to us 931 283 2312. Thank you.